Hey, I'm going to speak like this. Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Get out of eating a granola bar mode or whatever.
Hey, I'm out of eating a granola bar mode. Welcome to Video Games Are Hard, episode 27. I'm going to speak like this for the entire podcast.
Finally using your normal voice, thank God.
Yeah, I'm going to... Okay, so hi, I'm Sid. Welcome to the podcast. It's episode 27. This is my podcast host, co-host, the co-one, Average Trey.
Hello, everybody.
It's Video Games Are Hard. We're here.
Merry Christmas, first of all.
Merry Die Hard movie time.
This is going up pretty shortly after Christmas.
Yeah.
So.
See, we're not skipping the Christmas week. Podcasts skip Christmas week or like record one way too early. We're just
we were going to record this like normally on Saturday, but Saturday literally is Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of weird. So we're doing it a little bit early, which means there's a greater likelihood that some crazy news could come out that we missed because we record too early.
All those announcements that come out on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
I'm sure something crazy is going to happen on Christmas and we're not going to be able to talk about it, but oh well.
They're going to talk about... Well, they don't... See, the thing about companies is that they don't want to be overshadowed by Santa, you know?
I think Santa overshadows everyone.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to be overshadowed.
With his Christmas cheer and his gifts and his... beard.
Yeah, you don't want to be the company that goes like, hey, you know what, the next Zelda's coming, or like the next Sonic, or like what, you don't want to announce something on Christmas and then everybody's like,
I'm not even talking big companies, I'm just talking random Twitter drama.
Oh, random Twitter drama?
Or
that could happen.
Perhaps the thing that happened after we recorded the last episode with Fetch, the Noki Doki finally making a low optimization tool assisted demonstration of the Mario Sunshine 80% in like half the time it normally takes.
It normally takes? Oh yeah, I guess
because
so.
They using float perfect water droplets, you can warp directly from having about 24 shines or so, because you got to get through the eel at least.
Yeah.
Directly to Bowser, and not just Bowser, but Bowser with one hit remaining.
That was weird to me too.
Yeah.
I was just like, one hit remaining. I did watch it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that I usually watch, but I was cornered and I watched it. And
well, you see, it wasn't a task; it was a low tad.
Yeah. See, that partway through, I was just like, I don't know. Some things can be definitely. And then like he was spraying the piranha plant at the start, and I'm just like, oh, this isn't Tess. Yeah. This is not Tess.
Not gonna lie, I only watched up like the eel part and the ending, because the beginning part is just getting through the necessary part of the game you got to get through to set it up.
See, I didn't remember the requirement. I remember him posting the video like a year and a half ago of the dying an eel fight and then setting up the barrel and all that. But I didn't remember. Right. It's just like, oh, it's a low tad for half of what any percent is now. And I'm just like, I don't remember. Like, I didn't remember the eel fight. I didn't remember what like the requirement was. I remember warping.
You gotta like store a certain number of cutscenes or something, and like each time the eel eats you is a cutscene thing.
Yeah.
And originally, a few months ago, he posted, it was the exact same thing. Like, we already knew this existed, except he, like, hacked the water droplets into the right positions to make it work.
Exactly.
But this time, he actually found a actual setup in the game that makes it work. So
cool.
But it's still very much not human viable yet.
Ooh.
Wonder if anything else will be found in that department. I want to be pessimistic and be like, nah, no human will ever do it. But as soon as anyone has ever said that for anything in Zelda, they always end up doing it in the future.
Yeah.
So
literally in like 3 weeks. Like,
I feel like it would be very non-forward thinking of me to assume it'll never happen by a human, but at the moment it seems like it's not going to happen.
We got to get Sockfolder and Fig and
we got to revive Sockfolder from his 5-year slumber. He's been gone for a long time.
We're gonna get all the Zelda heads over here and try to figure out how Ace works.
We need more Zelda. The only smart people we have are like Zapiku, Noki Doki, and like Orange and a few others.
Yeah,
but the Zelda heads have so many smart people.
Yeah, they have way too many smart people.
They're too smart for their own good.
I used to be acknowledged as a smart person. That's bad. I feel like that's bad for the SMS community.
If you're a smart person, we're doomed.
Yeah, we're doomed for sure.
So, rip SMS being broken, question mark.
When you mentioned that there was drama coming out of last week, I thought you were going to mention the audio for last podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's just like a little personal thing.
Yeah.
Due to complications.
If you listen to last week, You might have noticed that our audio was a little bit off, and if you read the description, you know kind of why. But
which I'm sure you all do, because as I know, 100% of people on YouTube always read the description.
Yeah, I do put work into the descriptions. Read my descriptions, maybe. But
thank you.
But so we officially have our first guest that screwed up the audio recording for the podcast. Woo!
Which I gotta say is very impressive for how many guests we've had.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was no big issue because I am a smart, prepared boy, and I always record backup audio of just the Discord call in my mic on OBS.
Are you recording it right now?
Yes, I am.
Just in case I'm not recording my audio.
Just in case, even though we're likely to not screw it up because we've done it so many times, you never know.
Yeah,
so,
I'm looking at my OBS thing right now. See, this week, next week, maybe I'll get a little lax, or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. See, I am glad that I was prepared for that because the entirety of last season, I never did that. So if last season this happened, we would just lose all that audio entirely.
Man, I'm so glad that this has fallen on a week, like considering it's Christmas week. I'm glad it's fallen on a week that it's just us. We could just
why is that?
Well, so that we don't have to be like, hey, are you available on Christmas week to record a podcast?
That would be awkward. Again, though, we don't necessarily have to alternate every other thing. We already messed that order up one time.
We already messed it up.
We screwed it up completely. The order that doesn't actually exist. It
terrible.
Happens to be the way we sort of do it, kind of.
But the silver lining of the podcast last week, I did listen to the first half. Sounded fine.
Yeah, I think the audio turned out. The only issue is that I was slightly loud, but if you can get past my loudness, I think it was fine.
Yeah.
So
you're so loud.
I'm just a loud ass person.
what was? I was just. We were in a call the other night before Back for Blood. And we were sitting in for an hour, and we were talking to one another. And I started just doing impressions of your voice at some point.
Yeah, you just kept repeating what I was saying, in weird impressions. Yeah.
Well, it's because we were just waiting for KO and Dap Yee to play Back for Blood, and you were playing Steven's Sausage Roll. And
we'll get to that later.
And I was just I don't even know what I was doing. I think I might have been practicing DKC or something. And you would just be like, this game, just singing random things.
This game is impossible.
Yeah, it's just
or some shit like that.
And I just walked away from my computer being like, this game is impossible. And I just walk away.
And I'm just sitting there you asshole.
Yeah, I'm just doing deep impressions of
I'm struggling with rolling this sausage, and you're over here making fun of me? I can't believe it. I started playing Steven's Sausage Roll, which is a puzzle game on Steam for $30. At the moment, not really sure if it's entirely worth that, but I will say that it's a puzzle game that it never starts out easy. It immediately starts out and you gotta spin the gears in your head a bit to solve stuff, which is cool because, in Baba Is You, even though that game got really tough in the end, the first world was pretty straightforward. And it's push this word into here. Okay, that took 2 seconds, whatever. There's not really any puzzles in Steven's Sausage Roll where you can just solve it in 2 seconds. Every puzzle, even the easiest one, took at least some brain power.
Sure.
Which even the Witness can't take, as the Witness, the opening area is just connect this line. All right, easy.
Yeah.
But it's essentially, because I don't want to spoil anything, you're a dude with a pointy bit who can walk around in a grid-like pattern.
Sure.
It's grid-based puzzles, much like Baba Is You, except you can push sausages, rotate sausages, and your ultimate goal is to cook the sausages equally and not burn them. And you can rewind and fast forward your moves as much as you want, just like Baba Is You. It's very similar to Baba Is You, except it's a lot more simple on the surface mechanics-wise, because all you're doing is moving sausages.
Yes.
There's no combining words in creative ways to make the rules completely change and stuff. It's just moving sausages.
To be fair, I think Baba Is You, or not even fair. I'm being unfair to Baba Is You. Some of the sentences make no fucking sense.
Which ones?
I don't remember what sentences. I just remember combining some of the words in Baba Is You and then being like, this should this means one thing.
Why does this work this way?
Yeah. Why does this sentence work? I don't understand. Yeah. But yeah.
I just started Steven's Sausage Roll. For those who've played it, I am in the second subset of puzzles, and I have one more to do in that subset. It's just a giant ass tower of sausages.
Oh.
That it seems like a very daunting level. But if I can get past that one, I can move on, hopefully. And yeah, I will say in the initial 15 minutes, I was immediately struggling to solve a single puzzle.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, damn, I'm really stupid. Because you have to there's sort of some muscle memory involved with like getting used to the way that your character maneuvers around.
Sure.
And in the introductory levels, it's very compact levels in trying to maneuver and not push a sausage into an unsalvageable position and get them in the right areas. And you really just sort of, a lot of it, and Keo was mentioning this earlier because he's played the game as well. The only unfortunate thing is that some of the levels come down to trial and error and realizing, okay, which combination of movements have I not tried yet?
Sure.
But for the majority of puzzles I've done so far, there is logic involved with deciphering like, oh, I've seen a pattern kind of like this, and if I roll it, X amount of times, it should be on this face to cook it on this side. So for the most part, I think I always feel like a genius for solving the puzzles, which is always a good thing in a puzzle game.
Sure.
Even though there are occasionally like some where I had to sort of dick around for a bit, but as a whole, I'm definitely enjoying it, and hopefully I can solve this tower thing. And if you play it at some point, we can talk about it more. So.
Yeah, I'll get it for the next guest list. And
I just started playing it sort of randomly this week. I'm like, what game on my bucket list? I just was playing Resident Evil 4. It's a very shooty game, very action-y. What can I take a step back from all the action with? Maybe some kind of puzzle game? Oh yeah, that sausage game. I'll try that out. Screw it.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, is there a game we should like both play? And I was just like, and you were just like Stevens. And I was just like, well, we have like Control that we keep talking about. And we have Neo.
I'm like, fuck, I keep forgetting Control exists.
That we keep like randomly referencing because we got them all for free on Epic Games. But instead, we're going to play Stevens.
Yeah.
Did you say how deep you got into it? Because we were disconnected for a moment and I had to fix that.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I'm in the second subset of puzzles. And actually, at least so far in the game, unlike Baba Is You, in Baba Is You, all you had to do was solve the majority of the puzzles in a certain area to move on, I believe. Yeah. In this game, they make you solve every single puzzle in an area before you can move on. Yeah. So I have there's one puzzle that I literally have to do right now or I cannot progress, which is, I think that's not necessarily a good thing because I kind of wish you'd be able to, like in Baba Is You can always go back to an older thing and solve one you missed earlier.
Yeah.
With knowledge you gain in the future. But I guess maybe it's the developer's intentions to make you solve everything. It seems annoying right now, but I mean, I'm still pretty early. So.
Yeah, the thing about Baba is that I'd never beat Baba. Like I beat however many, like 110 puzzles or 105 puzzles or whatever, but I didn't beat the final, like the finale puzzle that's literally called the finale because it just kind of goes, well, you can beat this or you can go somewhere else. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I stared at this for 20 minutes, didn't get anywhere with it. There's this lightning bolt. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this level, so I'm just gonna kind of skirt this, go to one of the extra levels, and then I learned all the other mechanics of like the drop or whatever. But yeah, with what you were saying about how far, so how far do you think you have to go? I guess is my question.
I have literally no idea how long this game is.
All right.
The only thing I've seen minor, how Steam has like guides on the side. It's like, here's how to get all the golden shits in this area and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like top guides for this game on Steam. And one of the guides said something about the 4 worlds in Steven's Sausage. I don't know if I guess I'm still maybe in the first world, ?
Sure.
I don't know if a subset of puzzles is a world or just part of a world, but I'm sure I'll find out soon enough if I ever solve this goddamn tower. Also, I hate how it's the PH version of Steven because we all know that the V spelling is the proper one.
Yeah, I was looking for it on Steam and I spelt Steven's Sausage Roll and it was just like, oh, no games exist. I'm like, no. Yeah. What?
That's not right.
And it was just like Stefan's. I'm like, oh, okay.
My brother's name is Steven with a V. I think that's the only way you can do it. Stefan, come on, what is that?
Yeah, we had a kid named Stefan at our school. We called him Stefan because his name was
spelled Stefan. God damn it.
It's Fetch. It's Feck. Damn.
Yeah.
So, like, you're talking about the satisfaction of beating puzzles. So, the game that I played casually this week, I didn't really play much this week. but I played a couple hours of Obduction, which I played a few months ago that we had as like one of the podcast video backgrounds.
And so that's like it's a Myst-like game, right?
Yeah, it's a Riven, it's a Myst, it's a just like, oh, you're in this world and figure it out. And I appreciate those games to some extent. Like, it's not The Witness, because The Witness is, what is it? Drop in this world, figure it out, and there's a lot of straightforward puzzles. Like,
it's straightforward puzzles within a world you just got to solve the rules for.
Yeah. And this is more like the puzzle is really like, what the puzzle is vague, you know? You have to kind of figure it out. And apparently I had stopped just before a lot of things got unlocked. So I just kind of like, I turned on the game and I was like, oh man, I'm just going to be stuck, because I just felt like turning it on for a moment. I felt like being stuck, I guess. And I went like in a direction for 3 minutes and I was like, oh, this is a whole new area I've never explored. Oh, this is a whole new area I've never explored. So apparently I had like just unlocked a bunch of stuff.
Beginner's luck.
Apparently. So I went to this new area. I sent you a screenshot of it.
And I was like, wait, what fucking game is this?
Yeah, it looks totally different. Like, because
I was like, is this Control? What is this?
In the initial area, you're just in this like desert essentially, and that was the whole area for the first bit. And then I found this area where it's just like lush green, and then there's this area with where you're like up in the mountains covered in fog, and it's like there's this like palace looking thing that I took a screenshot and sent to you. And there's this like contraption or whatever. But the thing about me finding all this stuff, it never, like, you're talking about the satisfaction of beating puzzles. There's no satisfaction of beating puzzles in Obduction, or
it's more just like dicking around and like, oh, something worked, cool.
Yeah. And I found this contraption and I was like, oh, okay. And I like figured out how it worked in the game, and I'm like, okay. And then I made an elevator work, and the elevator didn't even bring me into a new area. It just brought me back to the start of that area. So I was just kind of like, so
it was a Dark Souls shortcut?
It was. Yeah, I basically just made a full circle, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. Like, it's not like in Dark Souls, the Dark Souls shortcut effectively skips like a bunch of enemies, or like makes
in this one you're just skipping more walking.
Yeah, I'm just skipping a lot of walking, and that's fine and all, but like when I finished the game, finished my session, I was still like, okay, so I explored these two areas. There are new areas. I have some new there's like a photo mode, so I have these new photos in the thing. I need to go back to the old podcast to figure out how I made the cart work. I like, because
you could watch the footage on the podcast itself, and then
but like I need to go back to that podcast to figure out how I made the cart work. Because I know there was one podcast I complained about the cart mechanics, or like the camera not working.
Didn't it depend on the controller you used?
I was using my mouse and keyboard this time, and it didn't and it had the same issue as when I was using controller. So I was just like, wait, why am I having this? Was it Alt or something? Like, did I have to hold Shift? I have no idea. But I have to refigure out the camera for the cart. But like, see, the thing is, so I explored these two new areas, but I'm still at like the same objective requirement. You got to connect the tree. I don't fucking what I don't know what connecting the tree means. Like, I know what the tree is, and but I don't know how to. I don't know what.
What are you connecting? A wire or?
I don't know.
Branches,
like the water or whatever. But
okay.
I'm just stuck at a point that it's tough, and I'm gonna have to try to figure that out. But that's where I am. I'm just still like, sure. There's these whole new areas, awesome, but I'm still at the same fulcrum I was, or like the same stoppage point. It's just like, okay, figure out how to connect this, and then maybe these areas will become valuable. So like Trey and I are playing you and I are playing very different puzzle games right now.
Because mine is much more of a straightforward puzzle game. And if I had to put a number to it, like the feeling of satisfaction versus just trial and error and be like, okay, whatever, that worked. I think Steven's sausage roll is like 80-20, and then it's like 80% satisfaction in figuring stuff out.
Oh, yeah.
But there is that 20% of like, okay, I had to sort of just like try every possible combination until it worked.
If I had to put a number to Obduction, it's 3% satisfaction of solving puzzles. Like I don't think I've felt satisfaction. I'm just kind of like, I stumbled on this thing. Oh, it's working now. and then you just kind of move to the next thing, and then oh, this is here now. Like nothing feels like it's connected, which I guess like seems right. You don't if you're in like a real world scenario, you don't get like a ding every time. It's like, oh, you beat the ding. Oh, that little you feel that euphoria of
like,
solving that puzzle.
You have 3 more sausages.
Yeah, and exactly, and like in Abduction, you don't get that ding. You don't go like, oh, you solved this thing. Wow, great, awesome. But I kind of want to. I every so often, you know what? I would like that. Oh, you solved this puzzle. Oh, great, awesome. Like, but I don't even know what the puzzles are.
I think there's a reason that most games are that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. Joseph Anderson, who we reference pretty often on this podcast, has a video claiming that Steven's Sausage Roll is the best puzzle game he ever played.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I can see why so far. Like, you definitely feel the game is really good at making you feel smart.
Sure.
When you solve stuff. Because at first, when you get into a level, it seems like a good portion of levels just seemed impossible to me. It's like, there's no way I can maneuver this. It's just not possible. Mm-hmm. And then eventually it becomes possible, and you're like, oh, how did he... I guess it's just impressive, the creativity to make difficult puzzles. It can't be easy, so I'm impressed.
Yeah.
With that.
I'm excited, because like that's how we initially stumbled upon it, right? Where you were just like, oh yeah. I've heard the rumblings of Steven's Sausage Roll in the past. Like I knew KO had played it in the past, and I knew a bunch of people had been like, oh, it's great. But
the art style is very I don't even know a word. It's just I don't know, a lot of like bright contrasting colors in the title screen. And the game itself, it's like I don't know. It's just very unique how it looks. Well, and I wasn't crazy about its visual style going into it, but I'm kind of digging it now. So
yeah. Sounds very satisfying. Well. So we have to have our Back for Blood update.
Oh, of course.
So while I was disconnected earlier, I was good like, oh, okay, well, we don't know. I don't know where we're going to start, blah, blah, blah. Apparently you had already started talking about Steven's Sausage Roll, and I had to reconnect to the call. But so we have our Back for Blood update of the week. Our 6th week of Back for Blood. And
oh, wow, it's been 6 weeks?
I think so. That sounds about right.
So Act 1 took us the good majority of that time to get through. We just like clawed our way through it. But Act 2, I think we must have got good or something, because we actually like one-shotted the second half of Act 2, didn't ever lose. Like, we lost one continue, but we got through like what, 5, 6 levels in a row without failing.
It took 3 sessions to get through Act 2. We got through Act 1, or like the first checkpoint, like really fast. And then our second attempt was riddled with horrible RNG. Our second session.
Oh, yeah.
Where
the second part of Act 2 or something.
Yeah. It was just like, there was a boss fight in like the worst area we could imagine. There was the hag, which is kind of the witch equivalent, spawning at the start of the level like 3 or 4 times.
We had like a fog plus hag plus like a boss in the first section, then like the end of that first section, and
the one of the other cool things about Back for Blood. Every guest list podcast, I'm just gonna have a segment where it's just like, oh, this is the cool thing about Back for Blood. Every time you start like a checkpoint, it'll give you cards where it's just like I can't remember what the term is, but like the negative aspects of the level that you've just randomly rolled. And like you see the cards at the start. It's like, oh, all of the big arm berries or all of the tall boys or whatever have armor on their soft point. So you have to break the armor and then destroy their soft point, or just ignore it like entirely. And you just have that choice. But some of them is just like, oh, here's fog. Here it's nighttime. Here there's a lot of alarm doors. Here there's if you collect this specimen and bring it to the end and fill up one of your use slots, then you'll get extra credits at the end of the level. Or if you don't get like just all these random or boss cards, just like, oh, there's a boss in this level. And you can't
how when you get the power is out card, like the power of the sun is out. It's nighttime. Like, what is that? How does that work?
The power is out. It is now just a dark level, even if you're outside.
The power is so out that even outside it's out. Like, not even just inside.
But we just got so unlucky that one session. So it's like, okay, it's a boss card and it's a fog card and it's everything at once. So that second session,
we were getting unlucky. Plus, I think in this recent session, especially I was realizing like the power of. I mean, I was upgrading weapons before.
Oh yeah,
but I was tentative on swapping weapons out and stuff, and like, going from like a gray to a green to a purple and stuff.
Yeah.
I would always have upgraded parts, but like I would often dismiss clearly better weapons just laying around in the level.
Yeah.
Plus,
because you're just more comfortable with it.
Yeah. And also, I was unaware that there were like different pistols that used not like rifle ammo, like Desert Eagles and stuff.
I didn't know that either.
Because I assumed that all pistols must use some machine gun ammo or something, like the small ammo.
Mm-hmm.
But KO gave me this Desert Eagle with like insanely good like loadout, like insanely good stats, and it used rifle ammo. It could essentially just one-shot any Ridden that I wanted to. And like that was so much better than like I originally had just like a submachine gun that Doc starts with, and I would pick up a bat and have like sort of a melee build where if I meleeed something, I would get 2 health back, sort of like justifying the melee secondary. Because oftentimes secondary just means like, oh, here's a pistol.
Yeah.
But if you can have a Desert Eagle with rifle ammo that's like super strong as a secondary, that changes the game.
Yeah, well,
and
like,
also, I could, in place of my cards that made meleeing better, I took those out, just made my utility as a healer even better because I was Doc. I could like heal people.
You've been given this role.
Yeah, I have 3 free heals without even using bandages. I can use anyone. And then I also can just carry more. I could use cards to carry more bandages. So I was healing left and right on top of having better weapons. So
yeah,
I feel difference.
I feel like our roles are just kind of like, see, I wanted to be the healer guy at first. And then, but I was the wrong character. So it just kind of got all thrown to you. And so the roles have become Dappy is like the enforcer and just kind of bashes everybody's skull in.
Yeah, see, Dappy had a much more perfected melee build. I sort of had just like a half-assed melee build where I would still lose like way too much stamina to make it reliable.
And then KO's just kind of like the damage person and like he's not the leader per se, because I think Dappy is better to be in the front, but he does like he has the detection of the infected or like the sleepers on the wall, the sleepers that just kind of So him being ahead is really good, and then I'm just kind of like cleanup. I like watch people's back and like I don't know, try to kill as many as I can. KO and I are just kind of like the shoot everything. Dappy is the hit everything, and Trey is the shoot everything and then heal people.
Yeah, I think we definitely fell into our roles a lot better. I think. I don't know. We just became a much more well-oiled machine this last session.
Well, yeah, we also cared more about not startling birds.
Oh yeah, the level that we got stuck on with such bad RNG that one time. There's a section
so many birds
where there's like a wide open area with like 7 patches of birds everywhere.
Yeah.
Which if you startle birds in this game, it calls a horde. And I believe they stack, so if you scare multiple birds, there's like multiple hordes coming in.
Well, it might be multiple hordes, but it's definitely more difficult in special infected mutations.
Yeah, like if you scare multiple birds, there can be multiple berries coming after you.
Just like, oh, there's 4 berries. It's like, oh, okay.
So we realized the power of just being a little more careful, not startling birds left and right, and there just won't be as many dudes. So.
Yeah, and people like trying to not shoot.
And just being smarter about like when you call a horde, like, oh, let's all go into this building, sit in the corner, and just get them as they come in.
Yeah, and put
versus just being out in the open where they can get you from all. I think a key thing in any of these zombie type games, even in Resident Evil and whatnot, if you have like a corner to your back or a wall to your back, it tremendously helps like what you got to worry about, because when zombies can get you in all 360 directions. Like, it's a lot more, because stuff can just come from behind you and you don't expect it. It's like, so it sounds obvious when I say it now.
Yeah.
But just having a wall to your back is so important.
I was watching your Resident Evil 4 professional playthrough where it was the room with all the treasure or whatever, and it was like the two, like the balcony and the lower floor, like the red carpeted room.
Yeah. The room with all the guys shooting stuff at you.
Yeah, and you go into that side room to get the one treasure, and then you stand there and just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all just coming in. So you just stand in this like narrow hallway, like no way anybody can come into you, and you just stand there just like, I know enough to not go outside. And I'm just like,
that's the thing about Resident Evil 4, and I'll talk about that later. Like, you just learn the safe places to stand in, have them all come to you.
Yeah.
Because there's certain areas where if you're just out in the main area,
you're fucked.
You're getting shot at from two directions. People are walking into you from two directions. Like, you can't really deal with that.
No.
So, you just got to be smart about it.
But yeah, so our second session was a dud of Back for Blood of Act 2 because we just kept getting rolled. And then so our third session started off like, I think we first tried the checkpoint and we were just like, oh, sick.
Yep.
And we only ended up using one continue. We went through 4 checkpoints.
Where did we use the continue again?
I don't remember. Like I don't think it was the first checkpoint. It had to have been the second checkpoint.
Oh, it was the level with the hag at the very beginning.
It was
where like you drop down like that cliff.
Yeah, it was just after a checkpoint, I think.
Yeah, because we were debating, like, do we go ahead and just kill the hag who's basically a witch, or like really try to go around him somehow, or and we ended up just calling like a million hordes at once.
There was a moment where I think after we had lost the continue, the hag at this point it's not as comparable as Left 4 Dead. I don't know if they all have identifying sounds from a distance, but the hag definitely does, and you hear this like high pitched, like the music.
Oh yeah, I was like, dude, what the hell is that music?
It just feels ominous and it's very effective, but that's the hag music, and it's just like running towards you or running towards your group, not necessarily being startled by you at all, just like, oh, it's approaching, the motorcycle approaching, and the second after we had lost the continue, like I think just all of us we just got hoarded, and the hag got us, and it was just a bad time because it was our first attempt at the level. And the second time the hag was approaching, and I just kind of stood on the ledge that it climbed up.
Oh yeah, so you were on the ledge sitting directly, like it was behind you, facing away from you.
I was to its right, and I was facing it. And it was facing towards you guys, and I was just kind of sitting there. I wasn't moving.
Like you were chilling, and then Dappy thought that you were screwed, so he started shooting at it.
Yeah.
And then somehow we got out of there alive. So
I remember like me just sitting there, and I was just like, I think I'm okay. And then I was like moving left, and I fell down so that it wouldn't like get triggered onto me. I was just like trying to skirt it and not run back with you guys. I just kind of wanted to stay ahead, and I actually like. Effectively removed all of, like, I think I had a pipe bomb or whatever, and I removed all of the special the infected that were in that next area by the time that you guys had dealt with the hag. But I was just sitting beside the hag as it climbed up, and then Dappy shoots it. And he's just like, oh, I was trying to save Sid, or I had to save Sid, and I was sitting there going like, I think I was okay.
Like, I don't think he was attacking Sid at all, but
like I think we were just okay, but it ended up being totally fine, and we just cleared through. Like the silver or the positives and negatives of it, like that we don't really have much to talk about the second act. Like we talked. 5 weeks about the first act, and we're just like, finally we beat Act 1. Oh, this karaoke level, it's definitely more memorable.
Man. Act 1 took us so long to get through.
Yeah, it's more memorable, or there's more to talk about,
and then we sort of just breezed through the second half of Act 2 somehow. I don't know if it was just from good RNG or we truly were that much better.
But don't know.
There were definitely moments where it came close to us failing, like especially that level where you just take damage constantly.
Yeah,
there's a level where I think the gimmick, I don't know if it was just like a one-time gimmick or like that's always the level's gimmick.
That feels like it was the
I think it's just
gimmick.
That one level. Yeah. Where you're always losing health slowly, but you regain it from shooting enemies.
Yeah.
And I think both you and I were downed in that level, and it was just KO and Dapper for a while. Not Dapper.
Yeah.
Dap Yee, sorry.
Dap Yee. Yeah, they ended up making it to the end.
I was pretty sure we were going to game over there.
Yeah, I thought so too. and that's but that's also the same checkpoint where it was like, oh, and we knew it was happening, or it's just like, oh, we got through the 3 checkpoints of Act 2, and it was just like, okay, now we got to get these ammo caches back to Fort Hope, and you're just sitting there going like, fuck, we're gonna start the next checkpoint in the same fucking safe house that we always have, and we've already complained about on the podcast, and then like we just end up just
you start in the same you start in the same safe house like 4 times so far.
And you enter the next area and it's always filled with zombies. And it's just like, okay, sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a level like, and you get a minigun, and I just like took out probably 2/3 of this big ogre's health with the minigun.
Yeah.
And the most of the level was just, there was a shit ton of stuff in that one area. But then once you got through there, it was already almost over. So.
See, a thing that I just thought of is that like Left 4 Dead 2 or Left 4 Dead in general is just so much less hopeful, which I don't like. It's not better or worse, I guess, at this point, but Back 4 Blood is like, you feel like you win every time. Like you get to a checkpoint, it's like, oh, we got this ammo cache. Oh, we blocked this hole of infected that the infected can't get out now, or whatever. It's like, oh, we've significantly lessened the infected horde maybe at the end of Act 1. And Left 4 Dead 2 is just like, literally they're just trying to survive and get to the next area and get to the next area and then get to the helicopter, and then the helicopter crashes, and then they like have to get to the next. It's just like what is it? What's the book series called? A Series of Unfortunate Events.
That sounds like the one, yes.
And yeah, but like Back 4 Blood is like, you feel safe, which I think is not like, for this type of game, I was expecting it to be like Left 4 Dead, where it's just like, oh, you start in this one safe house, and then you get to the next safe house, and then you just like have a developing plan as you go. But you have this like base of operations, and you have this like the lore of Back 4 Blood. You have this base of operations, and there's this person that keeps mumbling in your goddamn ear about George Washington's Bridge.
Washington Bridge.
And like I haven't been paying attention to the lore much, but I know there is like that base that you have because we've spawned it 4 times, and it kind of cheapens a little bit of it, but I get why they had to do it that way and to reuse the area. But then like again, it's the same complaint as last guestless podcast, where it's just like, you enter the area the same way the every time, and we entered it the same way this time, and it's just kind of like, all right, fine. But it's like, oh, it's stronger infected. It's like, okay, cool. Awesome.
So you're saying lore-wise, the crew just feels like they're a lot more prepared than Left 4 Dead?
Well, yeah, I guess they have more.
And they just like, they know they're actually taking out the threat, whereas Left 4 Dead, they're just trying to survive.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's worse.
I mean, it might be different worse. For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
It is a spiritual successor. It's not Left 4 Dead 3 after all.
Yeah,
because Valve doesn't know how to make third games. So
no, Half-Life 2. VR.
Half-Life Alyx.
Half-Life Alyx. But yeah, that's our update. We just clawed through. We like the what is it? The Berserker? What's it called again?
The boss?
Yeah.
Oh, the Fortnite guy. I think a breaker?
The breaker. I love that we call it just like, oh, I'm in the Fortnite.
Yeah, for some reason, there's a boss enemy called a breaker, I think.
Yeah.
And for some reason, this particular boss always has a Fortnite-esque ring area around him.
Yeah.
And if you're outside that ring, you just take damage constantly.
Yeah.
I guess it's to make the boss more threatening because you can't just run away from him.
But like the ogre you can run away from too.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me why this one enemy gets this weird Fortnite ring.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, the very ending of Act 2, there were 2 of those breakers with their own Fortnite rings we could stay inside of.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing we learned and realized is that they are a lot easier when there are obstacles to juke them around.
If there's literally just one thing in the environment.
Yeah, if you have just like one gas station or one house in between you and the breaker, you can just juke him so easily, just keep going in a circle and get him. Whereas out in the open, he just unpredictably jumps at you randomly.
Dude, the few times that we like ran into him where it was just like this wide open area, it's like, you're screwed. Like, this is so hard.
They are so tough in the wide open. But like at the end of that thing, we had like, you guys were going around a car or something.
Yeah, it was an ambulance thing.
And and there was like a tiny house that Dappy like it sort of trapped Dappy in this little house. but then I juked him outside, backed up, and then like shot him a bit, went around the corner, backed up, shot him a bit, went around the corner, over and over again. Then eventually he was dead.
Yeah,
So.
like the breaker just doesn't know how to handle. Like with the truck, he was just like, oh, I'm gonna climb on top of this truck. I'm gonna enter this animation and climb on top of this truck, and then I'm gonna fall off this truck, and then I'm gonna enter this animation and climb up this truck. And it's just like it's. And
I'm just gonna I'm gonna lunge at you like around the corner when you're already on the other corner over and over again. I'm never gonna get you.
Yeah. And then that's just kind of how it ends up being. But then we beat it. We saw like a 3-second cutscene, and then it was over.
The cutscene was just like Doc saying, "We made it," or something. I don't even know.
It was just like, "Oh, we found you." Because
we found you. We found you.
Maybe we found something. I don't know. And then we unlocked a bunch of because we
I
had
still don't fully get the lore of this game because the cutscenes are so short. It's just like. Yeah. Okay, we found this guy. Oh, more zombies. All right, here we go. I don't know.
The only thing that I know for sure we did is blow up George Washington's bridge. That's all I know.
Blow up George Washington. We call this guy George Washington because I think the level we redid the most, which was actually like shown in footage on a podcast episode. Every single time you started, he always talks about blowing up George Washington Bridge. So I'm like, fuck it, this guy's George Washington.
He's George Washington now. It's like, oh, George Washington.
Yo, George Washington, good to see you again.
What's up?
And yeah, I guess it was crazy. We just got through Act 2 so fast, and the whole time, because we had one continue left, I was like semi in the all right, we're going to die and like try it again mode. But somehow we just kept going and not failing somehow. It was crazy.
Yeah, and Dappy had this like issue from the start where it's just like he couldn't ping anything. He couldn't.
Oh, yeah. Like we couldn't see Dappy's pings and he couldn't see ours.
Yeah. It was
so even with broken pings, we were still owning so hard.
So we were just like, we were playing under the assumption just like, okay, when we die, like Dappy will restart or we'll all restart we never ended up getting to that point. Like, we never ended up getting to the point where anybody restarted their game.
Much like Mango at Pound 3, we just couldn't lose somehow.
Yeah.
Like, he kept trying to lose, he just couldn't lose. And we couldn't lose to fix Dappy's pings, we just kept going.
Yeah.
So it was pretty nuts.
So we have Act 4 to play. Act 2 or Act 3? We have Act 3 to play.
Yeah. And there's a 4 as well. It's like only one level.
So Act 2, not that memorable, but that's because we spent, a total of 4, 5, 6 hours.
But I loved just like that sense that as a team we were just so much better.
Yeah,
that's what Act 2 proved to me.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. We're making progress. We're clawing through. Back for Blood. That's the Back for Blood update of the week.
And I streamed Resident Evil 4 Pro mode.
Yeah,
a whole playthrough, which takes about 11 or 12 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
It was my third playthrough of the game ever, first time on the hardest difficulty, and it was not what I expected in various ways. So what I was expecting was a very clear distinction where I was thinking, oh, pro mode, you probably like die in 1 or 2 hits all the time. It must be like crazy hard. Actually, I think that the damage you take is only slightly raised, and for the majority of the playthrough, it almost felt like normal mode to me, like it wasn't that changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you feel the differences in the most in like the very, very early game. There are clearly more enemies coming at you in that like initial village section.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, clearly there weren't as many guys the first time I played this, and the second time there's just more dudes here to take out. And I believe someone in my chat said it, and I think it's true. Enemies typically don't drop as much ammo, they just drop more gold more often.
Oh yeah.
So ammo preservation is much more important because you can't buy ammo.
Yeah.
But you get more money though, I guess, is like an offset to that. And yeah, I guess the very, very early game, you could feel difficulty. The dogs were more deadly. Like if you got grabbed by 2 dogs, you were just dead instantly. Mm-hmm. Whereas the middle game, like chapters 2 through early 4, pretty much felt like normal mode to me. Like they weren't that much harder.
Sure.
And then, oh my God, the end game.
Yeah.
Dude.
I watched so much. I watched bits and pieces of the end game. It's just like the island area with Mike. And it's just.
Pretty much the castle is like only slightly harder, but the island, oh my God.
Yeah.
The islands, the difficulty ramps up like crazy because first of all, the regenerators, which you have to snipe individual parasites on to take out, they're like, most of them in normal mode only have like 3 of them on their front side, then they're dead.
Yeah.
But every single regenerator in professional mode has a parasite on their backside.
Okay.
So you either have to like shoot them in the head or like in the middle and like pray it goes through to hit it, or find a way to juke around them to like get a shot at their backside, which is really tough to do.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, the regenerators are much more of a pain. There's no freebie regenerators in this mode. And then I think the hardest part of the game, like the room with the wrecking ball, where there's like the corner with the controls to like smash through this rock to get to a door with a wrecking ball.
Sure.
That room was just, I think I died like 4 times there because there was really no safe place to put Ashley. Like even in the corner, the enemies are just much more aggressive. They charge at you much faster in this mode.
Okay.
So they were just like charging at me from both directions, like super fast. And they were just right up in your face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The only way I got through there was as soon as I dropped down the ledge, like in the beginning of the room, I just stood in that one spot for like 3 minutes straight, probably. Let them all come to me because they can actually come from behind you on the ledge you just dropped down from.
Sure.
But the thing is, when they drop down from behind you, they actually just like, they land directly in front of you and have like a get up animation.
Oh.
So they're essentially like, they can't come from behind you because by the time they come from behind you, you just shoot them and they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So to beat that room, I had to do it in this really unusual, unorthodox way of just stay in like the very beginning spot and have them all come to me. And this doesn't feel like it's developer intended, but it works. But anyway, I got through it. And I think the actual hardest part, like the whole section with Mike, the helicopter rider, is like, hey, I'm Mike. I'm going to use my gun on these guys. That whole section was just ridiculous. There were just way more minigun guys. You die sooner. There were just more enemies in general.
I like the part where you had cleared all of the like the just grunt enemies, and you were just like, oh, does this staircase like block me from this minigun? And then you because you had like already shot him a little bit, the minigun guy, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna clear out all these grunts, we're fine. And then you stood beside the stairs and then got hit once and then died, and you're just like, I guess it doesn't block it.
Yeah. I mean, especially the ending of it, there's like 3 guys in miniguns, and you have to like, you quickly run out, scope, like hard scope them, shoot them as quick as possible, or else you just get destroyed by a minigun.
Yeah.
And I had to like find setups, actually with a suggestion from Pixel in my chat, shout out to Pixel. Like you could stand like behind these 2 walls in like one safe position, throw a grenade super far away to take him out. Because this one guy on a minigun, he had like a helmet that you couldn't pierce with bullets. So he was essentially completely protected like on all sides, except for like behind him. And I don't know, the whole thing was so crazy. Like end game difficulty went insane out of nowhere, which threw me off.
Yeah.
Even the final boss was not that bad. Yeah, in normal mode, the final boss was kind of a joke because he opens up the eyeballs on his limbs pretty often. And as soon as you shoot the eyeball on his limbs, he becomes vulnerable. You can get like a free hit on him. But in professional mode, he almost never opens them up. So you more often have to use the gimmicks around the level, like exploding barrels or a grenade that you have to have. Like, if you have grenades on you, it's pretty easy. But like, if you don't have any, it's kind of a pain.
Sure. Because
there's the 2 areas, like one on one side of the bridge and one on the other, where you can like send down like a load of lumber to hit him. And then you can hit him then. But he becomes vulnerable like way less frequently, which makes it pretty challenging because he can just randomly jump on top of you and do a ton of damage. And I don't know, the final boss took me a few attempts, but I eventually got through it. And then the escape sequence is exactly the same as normal mode.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, I had fun streaming it, even though most of it was pretty much normal mode-esque with taking a little bit more damage and enemies are more aggressive. But the end game and early game sort of threw me for a loop. But overall, pretty fun to stream.
Did it feel like streaming maddening mode?
Oh no, it was entirely different game.
Well, yeah, I know, but like the vibe of it, because I know at some point somebody came into the chat and was just like, "Oh, I play a shit ton of Resident Evil 4. You can go back to get the a butterfly pickup for free."
By the way, I never figured out how to get that free broken butterfly.
Yeah,
I do not know when. Like, at what point are you able to backtrack to that point in the game with Ashley? I still don't know.
Yeah,
because I was actively thinking like, okay, now can I go back there? I have Ashley. Can I go back? No, I can't backtrack. The game's not letting me. So I genuinely, after 3 playthroughs, I never figured out how to get back there.
Yeah.
So If someone, I mean, yeah.
but the vibes are fine because you're just like, oh, this is my third playthrough. I don't know when I'm gonna play it again. Like you can spoil whatever you want.
Exactly. That's why I am fine with streaming a game that I play multiple times, because if you tell me stuff, it's like, oh, cool, I didn't know that. I've already played this game before or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's a blind playthrough, it's different because it's just like, well, now you're just impacting my one and only blind playthrough, which can never happen
exactly.
again. And it's just, it's sacred. Blind playthroughs are sacred.
That's how I've been feeling about Donkey Kong Country.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know all of the, or you know what? Maybe I should watch a video, but
you should try this thing called watching videos. There's a site called YouTube,
or
pretty
site
new.
called Speedrun Central, speedrun.com.
Speedrun.com, yes.
But
if you can get past the ads to see the site, then yeah.
You know Leffen's Visa. So shout outs to Leffen's Visa.
I do know Leffen's Visa, yeah.
He was in my chat the other day while I was doing DKC runs, and because I have to do the sit-a-thon prep, blah blah blah, and I've been trying to like do some work with DKC, like write some notes so that like during a hypothetically a long marathon of super games,
all the games are super.
Yeah, so that I can just look at the Google document and be like, oh, okay, so this level is, and not have to keep everything in my brain every time I switch to a new game. But like while I was doing it, like, because it's my 7th playthrough or whatever, 8th playthrough, however many runs I've done plus my first casual playthrough, and he's just like, oh yeah, if you turn left here, you just skip the level, or like skip half the level, and I'm like, oh, okay, well,
so you haven't even looked at any speedrun resources, you're just figuring it out yourself.
Well, I'm figuring it out myself, and people have told me things, so like I know some skips, but the turn left at the start of Stop and Go, which is like in the second world of DKC, that's one that I knew that I had forgotten. And and he was just, and I was just like, yeah, my goal, yeah, okay, that makes sense because my gold is like a little bit faster than this, and I would have done 4 attempts with this, so it would have been better. But he like showed me a new skip, and he's just like, oh yeah, if you roll into this beaver and jump off of this bird, there's an off-screen tire that you can just barely see, and you're just like, and then if you jump perfectly off that tire, you get to a cannon, and you just basically skip the level, and I'm just like. And that level was tough. It's like it's not Vulture Culture, but it's like the one after that. I can't remember exactly what the name is, but how you feel about like somebody telling you it's like, oh, if you go back to get the broken butterfly at this point, or like whatever.
They never told me when to get it. They just said I could do it.
Yeah.
So I never figured it out.
or if it was if they had told you the thing that you had figured out with the flash grenades on the
the room where the cage falls down around the treasure chest?
No, I just meant like if you had not known the
flash grenades, they insta kill the tentacle guys.
Yeah, if somebody told you that at that point, you're just like, oh,
that's a happy little accident. I don't know.
That's a cool thing that I didn't know. Like I feel exactly the same way. I was like looking at chat just to see if Leffen's Visa had something. And when it's his Twitch account, just like playing on Leffen the Smash player's Visa for not being able to travel to America, I guess. But
no, it's literally like Leffen the Smash player. His Visa became sentient. Like he has a sentient Visa. That's his account.
Dope. That's so sick.
So pretty crazy that that's even possible, I guess.
But my eyes were just like pasted to chat being like, because at the end of levels, he would be like, oh yeah, by the way, at the end of, or like at the start of this level, you could just turn left and skip it. And I'm just like, oh, well, now it's not, that's not useful to me now. Like I can't. But yeah.
Free time save for next run.
So I PB'd in, with that same stream, I PB'd in Super Mario Sunshine by 9 seconds. Finally, a PB, clap for me.
Woo.
And
lower 116.
And then I PB'd by 5 minutes in Donkey Kong Country. But that's a game that I've played. How many? I can count on. If I had 3 hands, I would be able to count on 3 hands how many times I've done a run of it. So. So that's my small little update about that. That's what I've been doing. I need to do Vanquish and stuff, but is there anything else you want to talk about Resident Evil 4? I just felt like there was a good segue.
Yeah. Well, I actually got all the achievements. There's only 12 of them.
Oh yeah.
There's a few meme ones like, oh, shoot the water and make the guy kill you instantly. There's also There's one for RPGing that guy you gotta like survive for 4 minutes against.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten all the achievements in a Steam game before, so it's cool to do that.
I only listened to this. Okay, so I had your stream on, but in my ear, I was like, as I was like walking to work or something, I can't remember. And you were, or I was just like on a walk, I don't know. And you were shooting something before the harpoon fish fight.
Yeah.
What was that achievement?
Oh, that's what I was just talking about. If you shoot the water enough times, the giant fish just eats you and kills you.
Okay.
And you get an achievement for that.
That's so funny.
So one of my deaths was just from getting the achievement because I.
Well, also one of your deaths. Also, one of your deaths was throwing an incendiary grenade at Ashley.
Okay, so you know the section I'm explaining to the audience because you watched it.
Yeah, I did watch it.
The section after you free Ashley from the 3 locks, and she can like walk over to that door or whatever, and you're sniping enemies to protect her. I wanted to save some ammo, so. And there's like some enemies walking in the doors and the sides. I'm like trying to save them from grabbing Ashley. And I don't know exactly where Ashley is. I assume she's still just standing by the door, like away from me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to throw this incendiary grenade down there and get a good group of them together and take them out in one shot.
And Leon has no arm.
And I think that I aimed down lower than I wanted to.
He has no arm.
Because it went like directly below me, and Ashley had just started running that direction, and I killed Ashley. And
it was just like a drop of incendiary grenade, and then it started a cutscene of like, oh shit, I killed that. I didn't.
It was just the way it happened was so funny. You had to see it.
And it sucks because like after you died there and had to respawn, you had to recollect all of the treasure in the room.
Oh, yeah. The little minor gripe.
Well,
there.
yeah, but like as I saw that, I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like, that's a shitty thing to have happened. But
yeah, again, I think I said this before the first time I talked about this game, but I kind of wish there were more Ashley-esque segments where it leans more into the horror part of the game, where you don't have any weapons. You're just trying to juke enemies with your own intuition.
Yeah.
Or like maybe throw lanterns at them to stun them for a bit. But yeah, the vast majority of the game is just Leon being the hero, shooting shit left and right, which is fun. Yeah. But I kind of wish there were more horror-y aspects, I guess, to like have more variety.
A funny thing. So you played Resident Evil 4, which ended up being like what my number 8 on the top 10 pod. I actually recently listened to yesterday. I listened to while I was like taking a nap. I listened to the top 10 pod that we recorded 14 episodes ago, and with KO and Quan, and it's a good re-listen. I had a good time. I forgot what I was talking about. Where it was just like, oh, somebody was talking about Portal 2. It was like KO was talking about Portal 2, and I'm like, oh, I really liked playing co-op mode with my old buddy Mike 11 years ago. I'm like, who the fuck is Mike? Like, I said it, and I was just like, who the fuck? It was like Mike. I'm like, oh yeah, Mike. All right, weird. And I just totally had forgotten that. But it's funny that I expect you to play games that I recommend. Like, I know you didn't play Resident Evil 4 because I recommended it or anything like that, but I know you're going to play
it was one reason.
Yeah.
I forget what my main motivation was. I guess I just knew it was a widely acclaimed GameCube game, and I'm a big GameCube guy.
Yeah.
So,
and like, I know you're going to play Dead Space basically because of my recommendation at some point.
Eventually, it might be a while though, because I'm sort of I like to not directly go from like one genre to the same genre again.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I prefer to be like, oh, I'll do a shooter game, now a puzzle game,
roll.
now a Steven Sausage Roll, yeah.
Yeah, and then Elden Ring.
I think Steven Sausage Roll is the exact opposite of Resident Evil 4. In every way.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it was funny re-listening to it and then getting to your number 1 and being like 1,000 Year Door, and I'm just like, man, maybe I should play this. And you're just like, you should, like, you've recommended me playing 1,000 Year Door so many times, but the thing is, I can't, like, I don't know how to play, like, I can't just buy it on Steam. And
let me Google the cost of the 1,000 Year Door right now, just on Amazon, just
to order it.
Yeah, let me just see what it would be.
Because
Super Mario, the 1,000 Year Door.
Because it felt weird, because it's just like, okay, you're playing Resident Evil 4, and I recommend Dead Space, and like all this, and I'm just sitting there going like, oh, I haven't played anything that you've recommended to me. Like,
oh wait, why am I on? I'm on like Amazon Music. What the hell?
Amazon. I'm on Amazon Canada.
For some reason, I bookmarked like the video/music thing. So I was like, wait, I'm just getting like Paper Thousand Year Door soundtrack. Like, what the fuck? Let me try this again. The
Sure.
1000 Year Door GameCube. Why isn't that showing a price?
I don't know. Would Amazon show a price? Like, wouldn't it be
I
eBay
feel like
that shows a price?
typically when you are going to buy something, a price would be shown.
Oh, that makes sense. But like going through the top tens, like now I kind of want to play Hotline Miami because KO talked about it so highly.
Dude, my brother loved that game.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like the only other one that I'm just like, oh yeah, I could like pick like not throw that out, but like I could go through it and like make KO happy, even though we talked shit about Terraria in that podcast and all that. But re-listening to the top 10 was interesting.
Unfortunately, because Nintendo never wants to make a GameCube VC.
Yeah.
Looks like this game's gonna run you up about $100.
Fog.
However, you can do what I did with Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Not that I condone it, because this is technically illegal. You can get a ROM of the game and then play it on Nintendo's, and then it feels like the regular game.
Great.
I'm just saying you could do that. You know?
See, that's why like it's interesting because it's just like, oh, like I'm gonna recommend you this game. It's like, oh, Resident Evil 4. It is playable on every system you could ever imagine. Oh, Dead Space. You can play the old games or the remakes are coming out next year, and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Maybe I'll decide. Elden Ring. Oh, it's coming out for everything in a couple months. It's just like, oh, a niche GameCube game that hasn't been re-released on anything. Okay, well, either you're going to buy it legally for $100 or
I wouldn't call Thousand Year Door niche.
Well,
it's like, pretty popular.
Niche in the sense that it's on a GameCube.
Yeah, it's only on GameCube and that's it.
And
it's not niche for the GameCube though.
Or just hope that somebody you grew up with or somebody you know
honestly,
now owned
because Nintendo hates re-releasing stuff, just get a ROM playing on Nintendo. And
all right. Well,
easy clap.
You don't condone it though.
I don't condone it. I'm just saying that the options available. Like, I don't know why you'd want to save $100. That's weird, right?
If it was just available on Steam, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll put $10 out and play a 20-year-old. I'll appease the masses and play the masses, the masses, and the U, and play a Thousand Year Door. But yeah, at this point, I don't really know how to play it, but I'll figure it out maybe.
I just told you a method that I don't condone.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll figure that out.
Easy.
So,
or go ahead.
Well, if you have something.
Glitch Infinite.
Oh yeah, Glitch Infinite
is coming up sooner than we might expect. In less than a month, I'm going to be going to a Smash tournament to not play Smash, but to do a speedrun marathon that I'm actually the opening run for, crazily enough.
Is it any percent or...
yeah, it's just going to be an 80% run.
Okay.
I'm going to have it couch commentated by Reed and whoever else wants to join. I don't know. At least Reed will be on there because he's actually going to be there for the tournament.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna meet Reed for the first time, which will be dope. But yeah, that'll be like January. I believe my run's on January 14th, and I don't know exactly which channel it'll be streamed on. But yeah, it's going to be a Smash tournament. There's going to be a side speedrun marathon. I'm going to be flying to Maryland for that.
I was just about to ask if you were flying.
Yeah. I already got my ticket booked. I got my hotel figured out. It's all good.
Oh, nice.
I'm a room with Easy Escape and some others. Big YouTube guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, people like Trihex and Cheese and a lot of Minecraft runners will be there.
A lot of Minecraft
runners. I don't really know any Minecraft runners, but I guess I'll meet them and say what's up. But I respect Minecraft. I like bridges.
I do. Yeah, you know what? We like bridges. We're a big fan of bridges.
I don't know a lot about Minecraft speedrunning or Dream or whoever, but these bridges. Let me tell you, I once built a bridge in the Nether. It was so long. And undecorated, but it was long. So
yeah, and it led to my Nether Dome.
Yes.
Yeah, we did that together.
And I have seen the Nether Dome with my own two eyes, so I know Minecraft like the back of my hand.
I only have shitty screen caps from 2016 of it. The whole world is scrapped, and I didn't even take a picture of it done. That's so dumb.
Right.
I missed the Nether Dome. Nether Dome was sick.
I think I saw it in game though. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yo, I'm checking it out. The Nether Dome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be cool. I haven't met Trihex, or I talked with Trihex quite a bit in HDQ 2015. That was like, God, 7 years ago now. Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll meet him again. It'll be like a much smaller, like a more cozy, almost GDQ 2013 style thing, which will be cool.
Oh, right.
If you like, excluding the big ass Smash tournament, the size of the actual speedrun stuff, it'll be a lot cozier, like not a huge swath of people like GDQ and like a big, like almost studio fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you remember GDQ 2013, it was like a lot more cozy, like in a little room.
Yeah.
The vibe was totally different and like much more, it felt more personal, like you could relate to people on the couch more. Whereas like it's a lot more, I don't want to say corporates, but like much more refined and like professional in later GDQs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect as far as my run goes. I hope to just sort of have like, it's the opening run, so I want to like, start it off strong, obviously.
Make a prediction time.
I predict that at Glitch Infinite, assuming nothing tragic happens and the run still happens, I will get a 1:16:21.
That's my old PB. Why would you do that?
Is that exactly what it was?
why would you do that?
I just said a random time. I didn't even know that was your PB.
No.
Okay, yeah. Wait, what was your old PB again? Was that what it was?
Like I had a 22 and then I had a 19. That's it. No, it wasn't. I don't think I had a 21 ever, but I was just making fun.
Oh yeah, then yeah, here we go.
Yeah, okay.
So fuck you. I'm not making fun of you.
I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm gonna make a good prediction. It's gonna be It's gonna be a 1:15:42.
Ooh, you think we'll get a 1:15?
I think you'll get a 1:15, not 14.
All right, we'll see.
You're not 1:14ing shit.
all it takes to not get a 1:15 is like dying at the end of Bianco 6 or something.
Yeah.
So I'm factoring in like one major death somewhere, maybe.
No.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, I just sort of hope that because like, people have seen 80% runs, they've been done to death at like so many events and stuff. I'm not going to be so much paint by numbers by the books. Oh, travel skip is a skip in which you shoot the piranha plane and go to the thing. I want to be a little more just sort of loosey-goosey, just sort of crack some jokes left and right, have a good time.
Sure.
I'll explain some stuff, obviously, and have Reed explain stuff too as the couch commentator.
Dude, I'm so excited for Reed.
Yeah, me too. And assuming that others will be on the couch who are non-SMS runners just there to, check it out and like show support, they could like, give their own input or whatever. Maybe Trihex will be on the couch. Do crew will come back. No, I doubt that.
No. Do crew. No.
Hey, it's a long time. That was like 8 years ago.
It's so crazy.
I think it's about time we bring it back. No, but yeah, I just hope to, have a good time. So.
Yeah. Well, good luck whenever.
And
do you know what day it is?
I think January 14th is the day of my run. I'm going to be getting there on the 13th to like figure out, because like obviously like my run's pretty early in the morning, like 9 a.m. or something.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 10 a.m. EST. I don't remember.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I'll have to be up bright and early for that. Make sure my setup works. I gotta bring my own capture card actually.
Oh yeah.
See, GDQ, they have like all the stuff ready. They have like any capture card you would ever need, like on deck.
Mm-hmm.
But like for a smaller thing like this, you gotta bring your own stuff. And hopefully the setup will work. So
sure, and hopefully you'll find the Wiimote sensor bar.
Yep. With my own setup, I would hope I'd be able to find my own sensor bar. There's a really funny GIF of me trying to like navigate the Wii menu and not getting a hand to even show up at the GDQ 2015 run, but the sensor bar was actually like it was upside down.
Somebody just.
Or no, it was rotated backwards. But the thing is, it was too high for me to even see where it was. So I was just like, what? Why is my Wiimote's not working? What the hell? And I look so goofy, but yeah, there's a really funny GIF of that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that run. It's gonna be chill. I wish I could go, but rip.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to be able to get my run out of the way so I can just enjoy the rest of the weekend and just, I don't know. I don't really watch Ultimate ever, but I guess I'll watch. In the tournament? Yeah, no, I'm not.
You didn't sign up for Glitch?
No, I didn't.
No, you're not going to bring out your Louis.
I haven't played Ultimate since like the first month the game was out.
I remember we played together,
Yeah, we did.
I don't know what like character you played though. I
I
remember
played
like
Pac-Man.
yeah.
Pac-Man, Sonic, some Luigi, maybe some others.
I was just like trying out Sheik and Luigi and other characters on you.
I would, if I played Ultimate now, I would probably play more Shulk, and now being like a Xenoblade fan.
Oh yeah.
Because back when I played Ultimate, I didn't play Xenoblade yet, so I didn't really care about Shulk.
Uh-huh.
Or hell, even Pyra and Mithra like Reed does.
I've actually thought about turning on Ultimate like fairly recently and being like, yeah, I'm just gonna play Sheik because they buffed not the shit out of Sheik, but they buffed them enough.
Yeah.
That they're like playable.
I probably wouldn't play Sheik because I already play a bunch of Sheik in Melee.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, there's like 80 other characters to choose from. Surely one of these will be, different than Sheik.
But you don't have the access to Sora or wait, do you?
Probably not. I mean, I bought into the hype. I got the $25 expansion pack or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that includes everything that comes out.
No, I don't think so. I think you had to buy like the second group.
You had to buy like a new expansion pack?
Yeah, because I don't think we have Steve.
Okay.
Like, I think Steve to Sora we don't have.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, like I don't really want to turn on the game and be like, oh, because I know I turned on for like Banjo. I turned on the game for Banjo and I was like, oh, Banjo, and then I turned on the game.
I think the last time I turned it on was for Piranha Plant.
Really? That's so long ago.
Yeah, it was ages ago.
You bought the pass and you did.
Yeah, because I was so I was so hyped. It was like, oh, a new Smash game. It's on the console I actually own. It's gonna be sick.
Wait, didn't you turn it on for Byleth?
No, but
really?
I thought I was hyped for Byleth, unlike most people.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, cool. I respect Fire Emblem now, and I know that Byleth is not just Marth 5.0, like some people claim that he or she is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
literally he or she.
But yeah. So I mean, I'll definitely be watching some Smash, hanging out with some peeps. I don't know. I really don't know what like GDQ. I sort of know what to expect. It's sort of like a chill hotel environment. There's like a casual room, a practice room. They got all your rooms. I have no clue. I don't know what the layout's going to be like at this place. Probably going to be mostly Smash setups, but yeah. I don't play Smash obviously, so I guess I'm just going to have to, hang out. Yeah. Like, what's up? What's up? I play Sunshine.
Hey, I'm Trey.
Suck my dick.
No.
That'd probably be problematic. But
yeah, probably. There was something. So, Glitch Infinite. That's happening. Mm-hmm. So it's the Christmas season, Trey.
Oh, really?
It's the Christmas season, and it got me thinking about. While I was streaming the other day, I was thinking about games that you like go back to. Or like movies that you go back to, because every Christmas season you like watch Miracle on 34th Street. Not you, but just the proverbial you. People watch Miracle on 34th Street.
Dude, I gotta watch Die Hard again.
Die Hard. I know we watch Die Hard every year. We haven't watched it yet, but I haven't been spending much time. But
I wonder if Die Hard's on like Netflix or something. I should get like my family to watch it if I go over there.
See, I have the Blu-ray.
Ooh, fancy.
I got the Die Hard Blu-ray. But yeah, Die Hard, what is it? It's a Wonderful Life. Whatever Christmas movie you think of. The Christmas Prince on Netflix.
Dude, I've seen the Charlie Brown Christmas special so many times.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
and that's a classic banger.
I have not seen the great... What is it? What's the Great Pumpkin? The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
I think I've only seen The Great Pumpkin like one time ever.
I haven't seen it in so long.
I don't remember like anything that happens in it.
But then there's like Nightmare Before Christmas, stuff like that.
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Still Christmas. The original, not the one with whoever.
Apparently, Sweden has a tradition to watch Donald Duck at 3 p.m. every year on Christmas Eve.
Just in Sweden in general?
Yeah, just in I think so. Like I didn't read much on it, but I was being I was being told about it the other day.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was just like the Donald Duck. It's like Donald Duck. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. Like I
know that in some Asian countries they eat KFC for Christmas.
Oh,
because KFC somehow convinced them that that's a normal thing to do.
All right.
Eat fried chicken on Christmas.
All right, good on KFC, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about like tradition things, like, and I thought back to I think it was the Liam Triforce video where he was just like, oh, every year I like to play Luigi's Mansion through, and and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, like having those games that you go back to, having those movies that you go back to, having those albums that you re-listen to. But I feel like albums are just so easily integratable to every.
Dude, I still listen to like the same stuff I listened to 10 years ago, I swear.
Yeah,
go for it. Avenged Sevenfold.
Do you?
Yeah, occasionally. Or The Killers or Muse and stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to listen to more pop music lately. Actually,
I feel like you already been doing that for a while.
Have I?
Yeah, like you always
like
sing,
a month ago?
"Welcome to my house."
Well, that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. See,
6 years ago,
you've always been doing that.
6 years ago, I was listening to pop music. The past month, I've been listening to pop music. Basically, no time has passed in between.
I just assumed that whole time you were.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Okay,
but
once a pop music listener, always a pop music listener. In my opinion.
Started thinking about those games that you go back to, and I wanted to ask if you have, and I'll answer this question too. Like
Super
if you
Mario Sunshine.
See, since speedrunning, like because when Liam Triforce in that video or whichever YouTube, I'm pretty sure it was Liam Triforce. He was just like, "Oh, I play Luigi's Mansion every year," and it's not like a speedrun sense. He's just like, "Oh, it takes me an afternoon and I enjoy it, and then I put it down, and then I come back a year later at around like Halloween or whenever he talked about getting it." And I was just sitting there going like, I don't think I have those games anymore since Sunshine. You know?
Yeah, I probably had games like that as a kid when my only options were the games that I owned.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays I could just go out and get whatever game I want.
Mm-hmm.
Because being an adult's fucking awesome. Shit, man. I think Resident Evil 4 might become one of those games for me.
Really?
Because I can see myself like in a year, like I want to go through that game again. Fuck it, why not?
I think that's sick.
Because it's the perfect length. Takes about like 10 to 12 hours to get through.
Uh-huh.
It's just, I don't know, it's just a grand old time.
I think the closest one for me is like when I was a kid, Ocarina of Time, I would play through a lot, and Majora's Mask I would every so often turn on, but it's so difficult to play those games now. Because like Majora's Mask especially, because I don't want to hook up my fucking Nintendo 64. Like how but,
if it's not on Steam, it's not worth it.
Well, like it's just so like I don't even think I have a setup now that I would be able to plug in my N64 too.
Well, why don't you just play it on Wii VC?
I don't have that. Like
there's a way to get that stuff. I don't condone this. All right.
See, this is why it's so difficult.
But
like I'm not against any of those things, but it's just like it's just I don't do them.
See, the way that I actually raced Dapper and Quantum Majora's Mask was a perfectly legal homebrew Nintendo instead of, you can actually get whatever VC game you want for free.
Yeah, I should figure that
out. I think it was quite simple to set up, actually, surprisingly. So.
But
you know what? I don't feel guilty. You know why?
Why?
Because Nintendo's shady business practices recently. That's right.
I hate that the asterisk has to be there. You know, it's just like, oh, well, like I would love to be able to set up my Nintendo 64 and be able to play on whatever the shitty N64 controller.
Well, you know what? Blame Nintendo for not doing what every other company does and like re-releasing it on whatever.
Yeah, but like to go back to like what you would play every year, I think it would literally be that. And I was thinking about like, because there wasn't any game that really dug its claws into me in my like formative years, in my like teens or whatever. And I feel like, and I stumbled upon this thought, maybe BioShock could have been that game.
Yeah, I've played that. I've gone through that game at least twice, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We talked about it on the top 10 a little bit.
Did I put BioShock in my honorable mentions?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And so did Quan. So did Quan? No, he just talked about it a lot.
I think he put BioShock Infinite, or no.
Yeah, he was talking about BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, Infinite.
But
I said that, it didn't sound right. I was like, wait, it's called Halo Infinite. BioShock Infinite? am I mixing this up?
No, you're right. You're good. It's Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yep.
if there was just a game that I had played, like the lore, I feel like the lore of BioShock, like maybe I own BioShock, like on Steam. Maybe I should like play through that.
I only had it on 360, which my brother has now, so I don't have it at the moment.
Yeah, maybe I should, because I feel like that would be that game, or that would have been that game, because I think it came out like around that time. It's just like I was 12. It would have been lore intensive. It would have been, I don't know. It would have like I feel like that could have been the game that I've been just like, oh yeah, you know what? I play BioShock and now I have to play it every year because I love it so much. But I don't feel like I have to play it. I don't have to speedrun it, you know? But like, speedrunning's just affected us.
Yeah, because what we already usually do is replaying the same games again. So having one more game to replay, like as a tradition, just seems like a bit much.
Yeah,
because what we do on a regular basis is that, so it's like may as well go out and do new stuff.
Yeah, and I would love to be, like, revert back to my playing Majora's Mask.
Non-speedrunning brain.
Yeah, my non-speedrunning brain, and be able to play like Majora's Mask. But then I'm like, oh, but then I could do this faster. Oh, and then I could do this faster. And then I could do that. And then I'm just like, I don't know. There's just like parts of it that are cool, like the satisfaction of getting PBs and stuff. But then it does affect your ability to replay other games and not have that kind of mindset.
Yeah, because now there's the mindset of, well, if I'm doing it again, I may as well optimize the process of doing it.
Yeah.
And not just take my time and smell the roses or whatever.
Yeah, go backtrack and get the butterfly gun.
Although I will say I did replay Luigi's Mansion 1 like at least 10 times growing up.
Yeah.
Because it's so short. I went through that game multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I never got the A mansion because I never knew about like either of the gold diamonds, I don't think.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I never knew about like watering that plants over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever the other one was. I get getting all the ghost, I guess. Or I probably got all the booze one time. But yeah.
I don't know if I got the A mansion and stuff like that, but yeah, replaying Ocarina of Time was just such a great thing. And like Majora's Mask 2, I remember playing that pretty deep into like even the GameCube life cycle. Majora's Mask over and over
maybe you
again.
could have like a yearly Ocarina of Time race tradition.
But see, the thing is, I have to figure out how to like optimize that now. Because
or you could just sort of go in, YOLO it each time.
Yeah, well, I know,
but
like
I mean, the goal is going fast, but if I don't go that fast, it's like whatever.
But like for the sit-a-thon thing, I have to actually like I have to put work in Ocarina of Time.
Well, see, you brought this upon yourself.
I know.
You realize.
Like I know I brought it upon myself, but it's still a thing that I like spoke into the ether, so I need to have to do it.
Yeah, you get such an advantage if you just like learn a few minor things, like in Vanquish, like maybe strats for more consistency on like the really hard bosses.
Yeah,
that will go a long way.
Okay, I guess I'm doing that, but like the thing about like watching movies every year or whatever, like do you have those movies that you go back to?
There's some movies that I always say, oh, I should watch that again, that I never do.
Yeah,
one that comes to mind is Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny.
Oh, okay.
I've only seen it once, but I've heard the soundtrack of that movie so many times. I know most of the songs by heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet if I watched the movie again, I would have a great time watching it.
I love enjoying Die Hard, but because there's like an excuse to watch it every year. It's just like, oh, it's Christmas.
Because it's Christmas.
We're gonna, but I have to actually willingly remember the other movies. Just like Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow, I love. It's a great movie. I watched it this year. I every time the streaming platform like has it, I don't own it, but I have to like find it on a streaming platform. It was on Netflix like a few months ago, and we watched it.
I wish everything was just on one platform. It's like trying to find like the one thing stuff is on is so annoying.
Yeah, dude, physical media was broken.
And then it's just like, oh, well, I don't have that streaming service, so I'm fucked.
Cool. And I've already used the free trial or whatever.
Yeah.
Another movie I wanted to watch like with us was like what was it? Not How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It was 10 Things I Hate About You. I always get those two confused because there's 10 in it. But it was on Disney Plus. It was on Disney Plus, and it doesn't have Disney Plus doesn't have a free trial, so I'd have to like get it. I'd have to actually get it, and I haven't bit the bullet on that, even though it's been 6 months since I talked about watching that movie. But
you know what movie I watched again recently and didn't tell anyone? I just sort of did it on a whim.
Sure.
Was Rush Hour 2.
Huh.
Have you seen Rush Hour 2?
I've seen it years ago. I wouldn't remember anything about it.
It was not as good as I remember it being the first time I saw it. I don't think it aged too gracefully.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it had its funny moments, but yeah, I kind of wish it was better in my mind before watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun.
It didn't make you cry like Forrest Gump.
Dude, yeah, I will never watch Forrest Gump again because I'm pretty sure I won't cry 4 times again. That was crazy. Maybe I would. I don't know.
It's like, what's the short list for me? It's like Die Hard, it's Edge of Tomorrow, it's The Big Sleep. I know that's like weirdly like The Big Sleep is like a Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall movie from 1939, 1941. Can't remember exactly what year, but I watch it every so often. It's a great movie. And what else? It's like Sahara. What? Do you know Sahara?
No.
Sahara is a Matthew McConaughey movie from with Cruz. What's her name? Can't remember the actress's name. Something Cruz.
See, I'm really bad with actor, actress, movie shit. So
I can't quite remember her name, but you'd know her name if I said it out loud. But whatever. Mm-hmm. Obviously, and but it's like this destination. Like they're in Africa, I think, and the Sahara even. And
that would make sense.
And they're like hunting down this treasure or this large boat, and my mom loves that movie, and we watch it every so often. But it's just this like cheesy mid 2000s Matthew McConaughey movie, but it's like so cute and nice, and we watch it every so often. And what is it? Pride and Prejudice. But it's such a weird like distortion, like different sets of movies that I'm picking from, where it's just like, okay, here's like the Christmas action movie. Here's Edge of Tomorrow, which is an action movie. Here's not a film noir, but like a black and white movie from the late 30s. Here's Pride and Prejudice, which is like this, the story of Pride and Prejudice.
Dude, there's so many movies that like, unless it has like a special place in your heart, I don't see a reason to like watch a movie every year.
Yeah,
except for like the excuse of Christmas.
Yeah, but I'm just like going through the movies that I've seen like many times.
Right.
And
dude, you know what movie I've seen a shit ton is Shrek 1. I have seen the first Shrek at least 12 times, I think.
That's dope, dude. Shrek 2 was that for me. I definitely watched Shrek 2 a shit ton.
Yeah, I need to watch Shrek 2. That's also like the pick of destiny. I gotta watch Shrek 2 again.
Yeah, Shrek 2.
I've only seen it once, and I don't remember why it was so good. But yeah,
it's the music. I'm gonna let you in on the.
I know it's the hero song.
It's so good.
True.
I don't know what else to say about it, but like,
I know, Shrek 1 is a masterpiece, as much of a meme as it is.
I see.
It's just such a good movie.
See, the funny thing is we're like swapped. Like I've seen Shrek 1 like 3 times. Like when I was a kid, and I don't remember much about it. I know Farquaad is short.
My favorite quote is still the Farquaad one, where it's like, "Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make." It's such a good line, dude.
John Lithgow is so dope. But like Shrek 2, I watched. I remember one summer just like watching it over and over again, just because of how I don't know, man. There's just something about it. But yeah, I just wanted to see if like if you were still in that mode of like playing a game or watching a movie every year. Like
I am definitely not in that mode. I think for the same reason as you, with Speedrun fucking me up.
Yeah, well,
because I'm just constantly in that mode. Like every week I gotta play Sunshine to improve.
Like I know when we started, just like, oh, we're trying to play casual games more, and
you know what, I've been doing that.
Hey, I played Obduction for an hour
because there was a period where. And there's been a lot of uprise. Actually, I was talking with KO about this for about an hour after you left last night.
Oh, yeah?
After we watched The Matrix Reloaded.
Really? You were... Okay.
And yeah, we were talking pretty deep video game philosophy discussion and whatnot.
Okay.
It wasn't that deep. But he was mentioning how one of his friends claims that he no longer enjoys video games.
Oh yeah, Mello.
And yeah, and KO said that's so stupid because he only still plays the same 2 games and he doesn't ever try new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just silly. The idea of saying I don't enjoy games is like saying I don't enjoy movies.
Yeah. I don't enjoy music.
Even if you're not a gamer, there's always something out there that you definitely would enjoy if you just tried it.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. It's a common thing these days. I've even seen videos in my recommended feed for whatever reason saying, or they'll have titles like, why aren't video games fun anymore? And stuff. Because I feel like a lot of people are somehow burning themselves out on just enjoying games, and they feel like they can't ever capture that magic they once felt before.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's just because they're approaching it the wrong way, and they have to. And something that I did that helped me was I spent so many years speedrunning and not playing any casual games outside of that I can play casual games now after many years of not doing that and appreciate them more than I would have had I been casual gaming this entire time.
Yeah, it will also you have this backlog of games.
Variety is the spice of life.
But also you have this backlog now.
Yes, there's so many games that had I not been speedrunning, I would have probably played already. And I guess, I don't know, just mix up what you're doing and you'll find something, is I guess the bottom line there. Yeah,
well, it's funny that you talk about it from like a point of, or from like a perspective of like, now that I have, like, in a positive sense,
I'm in an unusual position that most people aren't in.
Yeah.
Because most people don't spend years of their time playing a select few games, unless it's like Dota or League of Legends or something.
Yeah. But yeah. But I feel like Dota players or like League of Legends players or MOBA players, they more integrate just like, okay, this is my busy game, and then I have like, this is my relaxed game. It's like,
right, KO does that. He has like 4,000 hours in Dota 2.
Yeah.
But he always has his like side games casually he plays as well.
But like, I feel like MOBA players, especially if they're not like streamers or whatever, they're just, their free time isn't spent practicing MOBAs.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah, because our free time, like for years, was just like, okay, we're streaming Sunshine, we're speedrunning Sunshine, and then when we're offline and we're like brainlessly playing a video game, we're practicing speedruns.
Right. See, the thing about speedrunning, it's a lot more time investment than what it seems on the surface, because all you see is the amount of time someone streams.
Yeah.
But if they're actually seriously getting good and are like a top player, they spend at least as much time offline also playing, usually more if they're really good.
Yeah.
So, and there's always that thought in the back of your head whenever you're casual gaming, no matter what, I mean, me less so than before when I was like more at the top level of Sunshine.
Sure.
Back then, I always felt guilty playing a different game because it's like, I could be getting better at Sunshine. I'm just sort of fucking around right now. Whereas if your main game is Dota or League of Legends, your getting good is just playing the game. There's no like, I mean, I'm sure there is practice and stuff you could do.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's just very much a separation of, okay, this is my league time. Outside of that, it's just anything else I want to do.
Yeah.
There's no just like distinct practice sessions and stuff.
It's what we would refer to like casual speedrunning versus like just like, the streamers that just kind of speedrun every so often.
Yeah,
rather
speed
than
streamers.
Yeah, the speed streamers. Or then compared to like trying to push yourself up the board. Like it works with like MOBA too, where it's just like if they do play like stream the game and are known for being really good, they do like offline scrims or whatever. Like they do put all of their time into Overwatch or Dota.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
The vast majority of people who just play League aren't super like high level in it.
Exactly.
And they just sort of do it. I mean, they're serious about it to a certain degree, but it's mostly just like a casual thing that they enjoy doing a lot.
It's like us with Back 4 Blood.
Yes, in a way, yes.
Yes, they're just like every so often they put their crew together, they play LOL. All right?
But we don't practice Back 4 Blood outside of that.
No.
Outside of Back 4 Blood, it's just whatever else we want to do.
I feel like our like Back 4 Blood right now is definitely the equivalent of what like casual players would be for League of Legends or Dota or whatever.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that now that I'm sort of not taking speedrunning as seriously as I did a few years ago, and I'm like, there were so many years where my mind was just so much in the speedrun mode.
Yeah.
That it created enough variety like so many years where I wasn't playing games just to play games.
Sure.
That I can enjoy games more than the average gamer would maybe nowadays.
You think so?
Because it's just stuff I haven't experienced yet. There's just so much out there.
Yeah, it's just like you're just like, what is it? It's variety is the spice of life, and you're sitting there going like,
Yes.
I've experienced no variety for the past 6 years.
Yeah, it's like do you know how much Sunshine and Pac-Man I've played? It's like
you just
I am ready to play something else.
You appreciate the smallest bit of spice in your life, and everybody's just like, I'm so sick of spice. I want to.
Yeah, like everyone is sick of spice, but I'm just now like sort of dipping my toe into it.
You're dipping your toe
And like
into spice.
because like someone who just plays a bunch of random casual like shooters and stuff may not get as much from Resident Evil 4 as I did.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, just another shooter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's just a very different experience.
Yeah.
So I think and that's the thing is that like humans always seek comfort in the usual and like what they know.
Mm-hmm.
But more often than not, if you like push outside those boundaries, try something new, you'll just, because like I never played Fire Emblem at all until Huff recommended Three Houses to me.
Yeah.
And that became like one of my new favorite series ever after I played that game.
Exactly.
So just being willing to push outside, there is always a game that will like revitalize your gamer spirit. I don't know the fuck.
Gamerdom.
Your gamerdom.
I see. It's funny to think about it like that too, where it's just like I started speedrunning Sunshine in 2013, but I wasn't like super passionate about it, so I don't really. I don't really define myself as a speedrunner until like 2014 when I got my computer and started streaming it. But then I was still like playing DMC every so often. But I did know of Vanquish. Like in 2012, like I did see, like I played the demo before it came out and was just like, oh, okay, I'm excited for this. And then it released and I was like, yeah, I don't really feel like buying it the second. And then just kind of like was on the back burner in my brain for literally 8 years. And then we started doing the casual stuff. It's like, oh, and then you played Dark Souls and I was just like, well, yeah. And then like The Witness in 2016, like there were games every so often that we would play casually, but we weren't like casual players yet.
Or like Overwatch for a little bit.
Yeah, Overwatch for a little bit.
Stuff.
But like that was when like the practice of Sunshine just kind of waned for sure. And like playing Rocket League and playing Overwatch. But that's the same kind of deal as Back 4 Blood, where it's just like I wouldn't play alone Rocket League, I wouldn't play alone Overwatch. I would just like if we had like a duo going or a trio or whatever, a quartet, we would just go in and play. But
yeah, we had some sextets.
We had some sextets.
That's pretty hype.
But the thing is, like playing one-on-one casual games, it wasn't really a thing for me for a while because it was just like, okay, well, if I'm going to be playing alone, I'm going to be playing Sunshine. And then
exactly,
like if I'm going to be playing alone, you're going to be playing Pac-Man World 2 or whatever game you choose.
I'm going to be grinding Whale 1 Cycle.
Exactly.
And still failing it.
It's like, oh, well, okay, well, if Sid doesn't want to play Melee or like to make a specific, very specific, not like if I don't have somebody to play with, I'm going to be playing the game that I play alone. And there isn't really like that.
Right. Whereas with speedrunning, you have to have games you play with others, game you play to speedrun, and game you play alone.
Yeah.
If you want to be a casual gamer.
Exactly.
It's just more stuff to do.
But considering we've spent so much time with Sunshine, I feel like we're more comfortable with just like not practicing nearly as much.
Yeah. See, we're at a point where we can just like, I'll sometimes not play Sunshine for like an entire week and then do a stream and like almost PB.
Yeah,
because it's just so ingrained into me.
Well, I did the same thing this week where it's just like, oh, I practiced a few things, but then like I did a stream and I PB'd.
And the thing is, like, sure, I would probably have a mid 114 by now if like all I did was Sunshine and not play RE4 or Steven's Sausage Roll. But like, I don't know. I want to have more fun in my life. So fuck you.
You know what we're saying? What we're saying this Christmas season is appreciate
the spice in life.
Yeah, appreciate the spice.
Gamers.
As speedrunners, we are dictating the message of appreciate the spice because you know what? We were spiceless for a while.
Even if it's Goron spice.
Even if it's Goron spice.
All right, you gotta even appreciate the Goron spice.
I don't appreciate the Goron spice.
Okay, yeah, to be fair, fuck the Goron spice.
Fuck the Goron spice.
Only get 50 rupees for that? Come on.
Yeah, and having the ability to like play Vanquish and all that stuff, and now I'm like doing a marathon of all the games that I've speedrun in the past.
What day is that going to happen again?
Early January, I'm thinking.
Before or after Glitch Infinite?
After Glitch Infinite.
Okay.
So,
and also, I was thinking the week I'm at that Glitch Infinite thing, we may or may not have a podcast episode.
Okay.
I'll be gone for like 4 days.
Sure.
So
we'll figure it out.
It'll be a little bit shaky, may break the streak, but we'll see.
Whatever, we'll figure it out. One last thing, during that conversation, I was thinking about the fact that just like, sure, all of my free time was Sunshine, like the sitting alone, like, oh, I don't have anybody to play with, I'm gonna play a video game, I'm gonna play Sunshine. Now all that time is sucked up by Duolingo, right? And
all right.
we were thinking about every now and then somebody goes like, oh, lol, speedrunning Duolingo. And like this isn't a segue for me to be like, I'm gonna try to do it. No, that's really fucking hard.
Wait, dude, that could be an insane piece of like content series.
Yeah,
you could be like your gimmick is speedrunning learning a language, and then like somehow make content off of that on YouTube. There's something there. I'm telling you,
probably. But I actually started thinking after the 100th time I saw like a lol Duolingo speedrun, I started thinking about it and just like, you know how hard that would be? Do you know how like, I feel like that would be the actually the most practical speedrun of all time, where it's not practical in the sense of doing it, but it's practical in the sense of being good at it would actually help you in life. Because like, sure, we play Super Mario Sunshine, being good at 3D platformers is fine.
Oh yeah, but by the way, how many "Hey, Sunshine looks different" comments do you get?
No, I don't get any of that because I'm usually playing Sunshine at like a similar time.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just like alongside Sunshine.
Every time I mean, there's so many comedians out there, Ed.
Did you get that for RE4?
Yeah. It's like, Flood looks like a gun now. That's interesting.
Wow. Well, Flood looks like a bullet gun instead of a water gun.
Wait, Flood's shooting bullets. The fuck is up with that?
That's so crazy. But I was thinking about like, do you know how good you'd like? We were talking about what was it? We were talking about Siglemic and the fact that he does stenography now instead of Melee.
Yeah, that's like speed typing.
Yeah, speed typing.
Rearranging your keyboard and stuff.
In order to be good at like Duolingo speedruns, you'd have to be pretty much perfect at 2 languages, because you'd have to know the language that you're learning from, and then know the language you're quote unquote learning, and then you'd have to be insanely fast at typing.
Well, isn't the whole point? Like, you don't have to know the language you're learning as you're learning it.
Well, no, but if you're speedrunning it, you want to be as fast as possible.
See, to speedrun learning a language, already know it. Boom.
Well, exactly, right?
I'm gonna start speedrunning learning English now. Done.
Well, I guess speedrun the lessons versus speedrun learning the language, where it's just like,
I mean, being good at English and typing is good, but like you're learning the thing though.
Oh yeah,
right?
Well, I'm not talking about me speedrunning learning Swedish right now, but it's just like interesting to think about, like if somebody was to do Duolingo speedruns, which could exist, like I haven't looked it up at all, but if you were to speedrun the language tree of some other language and go through like verbs, like determiners or animals or food or verbs present or whatever, and just go through all of those things, you'd have to, in order to be extremely fast, you'd have to know it. And just like, you just speedrun the tree instead of, like, it's like me saying, it's like, we currently speedrun learning Super Mario Sunshine. Like, we know Super Mario Sunshine, and we know it enough to speedrun it pretty efficiently, but, like, if somebody was to speedrun Duolingo, they're speedrunning a language, or within Duolingo.
Oh, so you're talking literally, like, already know the language, speedrunning, just going through the lessons. Yes. Okay, well, that's very different than what I was talking about.
But it's I know, but it's hard to like you're speedrunning the lessons of a language.
Yeah. I wonder how fast I can go through the English lessons.
See, it's funny because you'd have to learn another language in order to know the
Oh shit!
right?
Yeah, I would suck dick.
Yeah, it's really tough because I was sitting there thinking about it, just like, oh, it'd be interesting because Swedish in Duolingo doesn't have any lessons for other languages at this point, but it'd be interesting to, like, depending on how far I go into Swedish, then try to learn English through Swedish and like see how far I'd get that way.
Yeah, I wonder if people do that. I don't know.
I don't know. It was just like a thought that I had crossed my head. I'm just like, you'd have to be perfect at English, perfect at the second language you pick, and then really fast at typing. So,
but I guess the speedrunning learning Sunshine or a speed game is essentially just like, how fast can you get good?
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, how fast can you get good at Swedish? Well, I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, speedrunning the lesson tree.
Just speedrunning the lesson, like, if you know both languages. Yeah,
that's.
And at that point, to that I say that sounds lame as hell.
Does it?
Because you already know it. Like, what's the point?
Well, like you know it, but then you'd have to like react and.
Yeah, it's essentially just typing at that point.
But then you'd have like it'd be so impressive to watch somebody be like, have equal parts of your brain be one language and another, and be like, okay, I'm reading this in one. Like within seconds be able to read this sentence in one language and then be able to regurgitate it in another and then go to the next one and be able to like back and forth and the different rules within each language, like, oh, the adverb has to go after the verb in Swedish, but it's before the verb in English, and just like the different little nuances.
I guess I underestimate the task of converting one language to another.
Right?
I just sort of assume when you know both of them, you can just flip between them instantly. But I guess it's not that simple.
And then you have to type as fast as possible. Like, I think that would be interesting.
Maybe.
I think that would be so interesting. But like, there's no way at any time soon I'd be able to do that. But I know some multilingual people that could maybe potentially do that. I don't know.
Maybe Wilco's getting there. He's kanji level 69 or whatever. I don't know.
And then they have different categories as like, oh, English to Swedish, English to Spanish, English to French, or like
just every language possible.
French to Spanish, French to, because I know there's actually a German lesson for Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you can learn through German Spanish. But it's just like, I don't know. It's not every. You could also learn Klingon.
There are. I just googled it. There are videos for Duolingo speedruns.
I think that'd be so impressive just to watch. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about this week.
Duolingo German Lesson 1 speedrun in 5.75 seconds.
Oh, Lesson 1 speedrun?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See, that's so, they're just, man, that sounds so fucking fast. But
dude, it's crazy. Like, the whole speedrun content genre has blown up so much in the past few years. Like, there's just so many, for like anything you can think of, there's like always some speedrun thing on it with like, you know, the snappy jump cuts and the, all right, what's up, guys? We're going to speedrun this thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas like 5 years ago, that was unheard of. Like, speedrunning was just simply, oh, here's a speedrun. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Now there's much more like content driven by that. It's interesting. But yeah.
And it's interesting how like SM64 is now being like elevated to this new level of like Twitchdom. Or like just streamdom, where it's just
the
like,
thing is, 64 has always been like the king of speedruns on Twitch.
Well, yeah, but now
even
it's like
Siglemic with like 10,000 viewers in 2012.
But now, like we were talking about the speed streamers or whatever, but now it's like the speed streamers have reached this, like there's Mizkif streaming SM64 that to like 30,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's just
that's crazy.
Geez, like. But like years ago, we'd sit to each other and just like, man, but he sucks. But it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better that he sucks.
Hey, as long as you're trying, you're gosh darndest. Right?
It's like better that he sucks, because it's just like, oh, lol XD, you suck ass, or whatever.
You know, there's something motivating, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. Watching people who run a game that are worse than you.
Yeah, I'm definitely talking about this.
It reminds you that like, maybe I don't suck so much. Because like when I'm streaming, I feel like I'm garbage because I'm just resetting over and over again. I'm like, fuck, I'm so bad.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, watching someone worse than me, I realize like maybe I can actually do this. You know?
Well, there is literally like there was a period of time where it's just like if I watched somebody play Super Mario Sunshine, I was just like, yeah, I don't like. I'm not as motivated to play it because they're so good. But then, like, when I watch people play it casually, I'm just like, I really want to play this game. Like, I just want to play this game now.
Yeah, I had so many people playing RE4 in my chat. Like, I want to play RE4 again.
Yeah.
Because something about that game is just... Yeah, because I want to see me do it better. Fuck you. But yeah, something about that game, it's... I don't even know why it's so replayable. You're just shooting people, but it just does.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I think it might be just like the world too, just in
and also
Resident
just
Evil
like it has really fun cutscenes too.
Yeah, and just
I love Salazar, like his goofiness. And stuff.
Every so often you'd just be like, you just say you'd not predict the line, but you'd say the line before Leon said it. It's like,
dude, I already know like all the lines in the game. Oh, a little rough, don't you think?
But yeah.
Or no thanks, bro. It's just like all the memorable lines like that. But yeah, I think that just about covers it, right?
Yeah, I think that's good for the week.
Well,
Merry Christmas,
again,
everybody.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Happy holidays. Happy holidays if you don't celebrate anything.
Merry Kwanzaa, Merry whatever.
Yeah,
we're inclusive here.
Enjoy the movies that you enjoy, or listen.
Only if it's Die Hard.
Only if it's Die Hard.
The one true movie. Anyway, we're on Spotify and Google Podcasts and YouTube on Sid and Trey.
Yes.
And to all, a good night and a good day, and Santa coming to town. I don't know.
Yep. Nope. Yeah. No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Santa's coming to town, yo.
Santa's coming to town, y'all. See you next week.